Demonic presence at unsafe levels. Lockdown in effect.
There are many demons, but there's only one.
Electro Demon.
I've been waiting for the full release of Prodeus for quite some time. It's now finally out of early access and you can play the whole full experience at a bargain price. It's developed by Bounding Box Software, an indie developer, and the game is heavily inspired by Doom. The story in Prodeus is almost non-existent. There are chaos demons who are in conflict with the aliens, aka Proteans. You are one of the last survivors turned into a cyborg by the Protean technology. Basically, you're there to kill off this conflict between the two factions and kill anything that stands in your way. It's a very vague story and it's not really explained or presented to you, but it's in the spirit of old school games. You're here to kill and fuck things up. The gameplay is the most important part in Prodeus. This is a boomer shooter, through and through. You're going through hellish and industrial looking landscapes and mowing demons after demons. The gunplay feels awesome. It's actually the norm for these boomer shooters and it's the most important part of the experience. When you kill a demon, it bursts into pools and pools of blood, and there's quite a bit of splatter on the walls. I love it. All the guns have a secondary fire mode, and you carry all of your guns, of course. You have your fists, which are useless. Then the pistol, which shoots out a burst of bullets as its secondary fire mode. Then there's the shotgun, whose alt fire is a charge-up shot, which does solid damage. Then there's the super shotgun, which is a monster, especially its old fire that is 4 shells at once. Insane. Then there are the shredders, basically 2 machine guns who you probably won't use after you find the minigun. It does great damage and its ult is spinning the barrel, so when you have to fire it, it doesn't have to wind up. Then there's the rocket launcher, very useful for flying enemies and it does massive damage. Then there's the grenade launcher, uses the same ammo as the rocket launcher, good for tight corridors. Then there's the plasma rifle, which I found to be one of the best weapons in the whole game. It shoots out plasma and its ult is locking onto an enemy. Great weapon, especially for Protean forces later on. Then there's the arc rail, which zaps enemies, but its ult is the zoom and firing a charge-up shot. It's like a sniper rifle. Closer to the end, you get a weapon called the Chaos Caster. It shoots out a blob of goo, kinda like the GES rifle in Unreal Tournament. Kinda crappy, but it's useful for melting stuff and it's needed to finish the campaign. There are a few more weapons you can unlock or purchase in the shop, but these are the main ones. Yeah, the shop. There's golden ore in the levels who you can collect and then use it to purchase stuff from the shop. You can also get ore from trials. There are trial levels that require you to do something in a certain amount of time to get a prize at the end. The game is divided into levels. You have a world map and you traverse to the levels with it. Each level is about 10 to 25 minutes, and I kinda found it hard to play for more than an hour. The action is very intense and best played in short bursts. The enemies are also designed nicely. Demons of all sorts, flying creatures, zombies and Protean forces. Protean forces are a bit tougher and they are distinct visually. There's a boss fight here and there and the game uses a tried and true method of killing a boss and then he becomes your regular enemy afterwards. Like I said, the gameplay is insane. It's fast paced and addictive. You're on the move constantly, switching weapons, dodging projectiles and murdering hordes and hordes of demonic blood. The levels are all awesome, although not very distinct. I don't know, they don't look the same and there's really no memorable level. Maybe the space station at the end of the game, but that's really it. It's all samey looking, grungy with red tones and it's kind of grey, industrial and hellish. That's how I'd put it. Also, the checkpoint system is an absolute piece of shit, or the lack thereof. Basically you have nexus points scattered throughout the level and if it were checkpoints it would have been fine, but no! When you die you respawn at the last nexus point you activate, but the enemies don't respawn and everything in the level stays the same. It's basically immortality and it takes the challenge out of the experience. Either checkpoints or the option to quick save would have been nice, but this is just pure shit. I don't get the need to reinvent the wheel, especially in a retro-inspired shooter. The game pulls its inspiration from Doom, and Doom had quick saves. Just fucking copy that. Graphically, this thing looks extremely pleasing. It's made in Unity and the environments are 3D and very sharp, but the enemies and pickups are sprites. This mix is really awesome and I quite like it. You can change the models to 3D in the options menu if that's more of your cup of tea. No game-breaking bugs were found during my playthrough. It took me about 6 hours to beat the Prodeus on the standard difficulty. I have to mention the music. It's industrial mixed in with a nice dose of metal shredding. It's composed by Andrew Hulshultz and it's a great soundtrack. Prodeus is currently $25 on Steam, and if you're into some high quality gripping adrenaline-packed retro-inspired boomer shooter, look no further. If I had to give a score to Prodeus, I'd give it 8.7 out of 10.